And welcome back to the Customer Edge. My name's Butch Stearns of the Pulse Network. We're talking on this particular episode about marketing technology, what you need to win. And furthermore, we're diving deeper into building the next generation marketing foundation. And to talk more about this, we now bring in a special guest. He's Martyn Etherington. He's the Chief of Staff at Mitel. Hello, Martyn. How are you?
I'm very well, Butch. Thank you.
When it comes to marketing technology, I'm sure in your history in marketing, and I'm sure at Mitel, you haven't had all successes. You've had some swings and misses, right?
I think everyone has those swings and misses, and I think anyone tells you otherwise would probably use just the word used, disingenuous. There are many things in technology, and technology is often seen as the cure-all elixir. How many times have we heard we can't measure things in marketing because we don't have the $5 million sales force or CRM system or the Marketo or Eloqua marketing automation, or we don't have access to big data. They're all excuses. They're not reasons for being very diligent, very operationally rigorous. I've got a firm belief, and the analogy that I like to draw is you can have the biggest investments in IT systems, and let's bring it closer to home. It's analogous to you having the most expensive New York health club membership. But if you don't exercise regularly, eat well, drink well, then that health club membership is irrelevant. The same with IT. Unless you've actually established the processes, first of all, got the rigor and discipline from the people using that, the automation of those processes by IT, if you're not doing the first parts and got the process down, the IT will be irrelevant. So certainly you learned along the way that we've made a number of mistakes in terms of thinking that we'll put a CRM system in place and that'll be the cure-all of our elixir. When we had low adoption, we had to then realize why we had that low adoption. Purely it's because we hadn't communicated, we hadn't trained or even enabled some of our people to use the system. So really IT is an enabler. It's the processes, the discipline and rigor that really actually moves the needle, particularly the growth needle.
In your stewardship there in a marketing leadership role, you've repositioned the brand and the culture to be outside-in thinking, as you've told me, to be customer-centric. Talk about that repositioning of the brand and how you change this to a customer-centric philosophy around marketing.
Yeah, but first of all, I would not be as arrogant to ever believe that I had anything to do with that big growth number. I mean, clearly a lot of people involved, strategic plan, got a great CEO, great board of directors and great leadership team. But taking that to one side, one of the first things I found when I joined Mitel about 18 months ago was we were very inward focused. What we call that is sort of inside out thinking. Everything we did was centered around us, our product, our channel, our brand. And we missed the primary constituency was the customer. And we took a hard look at our business and really decided that in order to really grow, we're going to put the customer at the center of our business. And that's really manifested in a number of ways. Culture shift, making sure that we took all of our plethora of 1-800 numbers, shrunk that down to a few, our 6 contact centers, took it down to 1. We made it easy for our customers to contact us. We grew our user group almost 500% over the last year, and we're using our user group at the front end of our innovation process to make sure we build and bring out relevant products for our customers. So it's really stage one. It's a cultural shift, and it's a journey. We're certainly nowhere near complete. And then secondly, the other part of the growth equation is we look to being a consolidator, not the consolidated, in what was really regarded as a very tepid growth market, which was PBX or telephony market. So we started to consolidate that part of the market, and then really the two other aspects that really fueling growth is in software and the cloud. And that's really been our additive to really see that tremendous growth. So it's been through acquisition and then strategic focus on two very key growth areas for us.
Let's go back to technology, Martyn. I think you gave a great example. My question to you is going to be how you use technology at Mitel and how your company's using it to be more customer-centric. I loved your health club example because what good is a membership, and you can work out all you want, but if you don't eat and sleep well and take care of yourself, it's not going to do you any good. So how do you use technology at Mitel to be more customer-centric?
Well, I think we started to use it as an enabler, not as the cure or elixir for all of our ailments. So I think the primary examples I can demonstrate here is the number one is when I joined 18 months ago, the big thing we heard was you make it really hard for us to contact you, Mitel. No wonder why we had several hundred 1-800 numbers. We had 6 contact centers, and we reduced that down to a few 1-800 numbers and 1 contact center. And the contact center was built on our own technology. That was number one. The number two was our brand had minimal awareness. A lot of that was because we weren't digitally centric and we weren't digitally relevant for our customers. So we redesigned our whole website 100% based upon the voice of the customer. And we have a site now which was designed for the customer, by the customer, and everything we do, we test it with that customer too. So a couple of instances of us using technology to enable the customer-centric culture, but it doesn't drive it. That takes leadership, that takes cultural change. And that's a journey we're on because we have a long way to go before we get to where we really need to get to.
So Martyn, I'd like to reference your May blog about May Technology Takes the Helm, where you wrote about the key tenets of IT, and in it you dive into software investments and your 3 bullet points that what it requires is design and develop the process, refine and strengthen the process, and automate the process. Tell us more about your management philosophy that you wrote about in that blog.
Yeah, it's trying to really prize apart the excuses from reality. And so many people, we use technology as a crutch, but again, we look at it here as very much an enabler. And it's an enabler of processes, and it's an enabler of rigor and discipline. So we really focus on understanding the processes, first of all, through value stream mapping. Many of the lean processes that I certainly learned from a company I came from, Danaher, is probably the best in the industry about lean, is we value stream map out all the processes, get that right, then implement that in technology, and then keep going back and reviewing and adjusting, because you don't realize how much you've missed until you actually start running some of these processes. And that's really the philosophy we've taken. And again, we're at the early part of the journey, so I'm certainly not claiming victory, but it's the philosophy we take is you've got to get the process right, and then the technology really enables those processes.
Talk about the challenge sometimes, or at Mitel in particular, your relationship with IT and why it's been successful, or what you need to do constantly to make it a successful relationship.
Well, I think the relationship between IT and marketing can be tense. It has been tense. It sometimes is tense because often they've got they're trying to run the business and then deal with all the other functions wanting their time, budget, money, and effort and resource. And then you have people who, like me, have got very little patience, and we're trying to achieve a goal. And so you heard the term "bring your own device." I've been akin to actually bring your own solution, because what the cloud enables you to do is not wait for IT. So, for instance, our marketing automation system is a cloud-based solution. We went outside, didn't work well. We worked with IT towards the end, but we made that choice. We made that call. We brought it in-house. It obviously created some friction, but we're good friends now. But there's that constant tension there, and there should be, because there's so many technologies moving so quickly, and the days of the benevolent dictatorship or the dictator of the IT department telling you what you can and can't do has changed. With the cloud in the outcome of bring your own device or bring your own solution, it's really democratized IT, and that's where the tension starts to manifest. So I wouldn't say it's fully harmonious, but I do say it's actually more healthy than it was, and I think, well, we're starting to make it work. Again, lots of work to do to actually claim victory, but I think we're on the right path.
I love that. Not only bring your own device, but bring your own solution. I'm going to keep that one for my own if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
All right, Martyn, how about one final comforting thought for marketers today, or someone that's involved and got their hands on either implementing or orchestrating marketing technology? I mean, to me, this is an ongoing discussion. New technologies pop up every day. What's a comforting thought that you've learned from your experiences or your successes and failures at Mitel and other places? What's a comforting thought going forward for marketers today?
Well, I'm not sure if it's a comforting thought. I think I see a lot of my peers, marketeers, playing the victim. We're not at the table. We're not at the board. We don't get time with the CEO, the CFO. My view is get over it. Stop playing the victim, and you need to become relevant in three areas. You need to become relevant towards your customer. You need to be the customer champion within your organization. You need to be relevant to the channel. You need to enable the channel to help them make their jobs easier and better. But most importantly, you need to be relevant to the business. You've got to demonstrate measurable either top line or bottom line growth that you and your function have actually driven. So if you're relevant towards the customer, to the channel, to the business, all will be good. However, many of my peers fail to be in that victim, and they're more intent about looking good versus doing good. And my recommendation to all of you is really focus on driving measurable results that will help you grow your customer base and also increase your bottom line and also your top line.
Great conversation, Martyn. We thank you for your time.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
All right, and we thank you for being a part of this conversation here on the Customer Edge.